Hey bees, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are making a very cool oil cleansing gel. And so the thing that is both the gelling agent and the cleansing agent, or the emulsifier, is Sucragel. So this is a relatively new to me ingredient. I actually bought this well over a year ago, but sort of only recently started playing with it when Evelina sent in a recipe request for an oily cleansing balm product that she'd found on the market that used Sucragel as both the emulsifier and the gelling agent, and so I should dig that out of my pantry and start playing with it. So Sucragel is considered a natural emulsifier. The ingredients are sweet almond oil, so it's not suitable if you're allergic to nuts, unfortunately, and I don't know of any alternatives at this time. Glycerin, water, and sucrose laurate. So it's a cold processed emulsifier, so it doesn't require heat to work with. And in addition to being an emulsifier, it's also a gelling agent. So we are using it for both of those properties today. So you really do need this. This is absolute linchpin to this recipe. So if you don't have it, I don't have any suggestions for you other than to buy some Sucragel because it's very, very neat. Now, I definitely owe a huge thanks to Coop for creating a fantastic, super detailed blog post on how to use Sucragel to create an oil gel, because it is not as simple as just putting Sucragel in oil. And I know this because I tried that several times and none of them worked. Some of my research in other places had sort of alluded to this notion that Sucragel needed, quite a lot of stirring. It turns out it needs a ton of stirring. You will have your electric beaters on for the better part of 10 minutes bringing this together. It needs so much agitation to get it to work, but when it does work, it's amazing. So we'll definitely go through that whole process here in the video today, obviously, but if you want to see it in pictures and read about it, I will link to the Coco blog post on it in the description box below, because it is also great, and it is in French, so you can use Google Translate to translate it to English if need be. Like most cleansers, the bulk of this one is relatively inexpensive oils. You can change them up if you don't have or don't like what I have used. If you have something that's sort of on the verge of going bad, this is a pretty good place to use it because you will go through it quite quickly. And of course we have the Sucragel, and then we have a bit of vegetable glycerin, which makes for a slightly gentler product. And then we have some scent. And so in this video, I did a version with sweet orange essential oil, palmarosa, and rose geranium, which smells amazing. And then in the blog, I played with some different fragrances. So you can definitely use essential oils, fragrances, my essential oil blend, my fragrance blend, whatever you want. Very, very much up to you. And then of course we have a preservative. And so even though this is an oil cleanser, thing one, the Sucragel does contain water, and thing two, you tend to get water in there when you're using it. I did kind of a test batch of this and worked my way through it, and it 100% ended up with little bits of water in it over the course of use. So we definitely need to include a preservative as well. Assuming you have a set of electric beaters, this isn't hard, but it does take a while and it does take patience. You do need to be, especially with those initial oil additions, going very slowly. It takes some time, it takes some patience. I really don't recommend scaling this recipe down sort of much below where I've got it in the video, which is 50 grams, just because it gets very, very difficult to really beat everything enough. I did a test batch of I think it was about 10 grams with a tiny little mixer, and I was down on my hands and knees just mixing away at this teensy little cup, and it was not ideal. So yeah, I definitely recommend making at least a 50 gram batch so that you can use your kitchen mixers and really get in there and get the mixing done properly. But yeah, I think you'll really like this. There's a demo at the end where you can see how it just instantly turns into this gorgeous cleansing milk the second it gets wet. It's beautiful. So come on, let's get started. All right, brace yourself because this is going to take a while. So in this little mixing bowl, I have 10 grams of Sucragel, which is our emulsifier and our gelling agent. And it needs to be whipped and whipped and whipped and whipped and whipped to work. It kind of feels like an activation process where you blend it and then you slowly blend it and then you add some more stuff and then slowly, and it's a process. You're definitely going to want your electric beaters here. I've got just one beater in here because it works really well with this size of bowl. So the general process, we are going to fire this bad boy up. We're going to whip this Sucragel until it is white, and then we are going to add just a single pipette of oil and blend and blend and blend, and then add another pipette of oil and blend and blend and blend at least 30 seconds between additions. And we're just going to do that for ages, and it's going to feel like nothing is happening, and then all of a sudden it's going to turn into a gel, which is very cool. So this, in this beaker here, is a blend of sweet almond oil, apricot kernel oil, and safflower oil. So for details on the precise measurements and whatnot, please refer to the blog or the description box below the video. I would also recommend hearing protection, because this thing is quite loud and it's going to be on for a while. So let's dive in. So we're definitely not done adding the oils yet, but you can see that this is now starting to gel. It's gone from being white to being kind of translucent and forming really, really cool soft peaks. So at this point in time, it's what I would call activated, and we can start moving a wee bit faster. You can definitely see that this is a really time-consuming process, and that you gotta do it this way. I tried it other ways, it didn't work. So let us continue to blend. And check that out, that is so much thicker than I think you'd ever really guess combining a bunch of liquids would ever, like just with a bunch of beating. I think it's so cool. So now we're ready to measure out kind of the rest of the ingredients and incorporate those. So I'm gonna grab precise scale here. We're just going to weigh them into our empty oil beaker. We need 9.5 grams of vegetable glycerin, 1/4 gram of vitamin E, 1/4 gram of liquid germall plus, 0.225 grams of orange essential oil, 0.1 gram palmarosa essential oil, and 0.05 grams of rose geranium essential oil. Give that a bit of a stir, and we're going to start incorporating that slowly as well. Now you can leave it like that, or if you want it to be a little more colorful, you can add a bit of mica. So I'm going to add a touch of this orange Sunset Dazzler mica from Humblebee, just to give it a little bit stronger of an orange hue. Kind of matches that nice orange scent we're getting. So this is 1/64 of a teaspoon, totally optional. Now all that's left is to package it up. Just grab a spatula here. You can really start to get a feel for the consistency. Isn't that so cool? Oh, it's so neat. It's such a cool consistency, and I'm so excited about creating other things with Sucragel. All right, so I've got a 2 ounce, or kind of 60 milliliter jar here. Dump that in there. And now I think you need to see how it works. So, got our little bowl back here. Got a little bit of cleansing gel there. Add a little bit of water. And it just like immediately turns into this really, really cool emulsified cleansing milk that rinses off really, really beautiful. And it's just downright gorgeous. This stuff is so cool. And there you go, you just made a gorgeous oily cleansing gel. So here you can see the version that we just made in the video, and then this is the version that I made for the blog. So if you want to learn more about this one, just go down to the description box and click through the blog. Really the only difference is I used a fragrance in this one instead of essential oils, and then obviously I used a different color mica to make it a different color. But yeah, I love this project. These are so much fun to make, and I'm in love with how they work to clean my face. So thanks so much for watching. Please subscribe. Do remember to go down to the description box and click through to the blog for the full written recipe with links to all the ingredients, information on scaling, substitution, shelf life, and a whole lot more. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.